So let's just say it's going to be a little difficult, but emotionally, things will stabilize. Okay. So I wouldn't say that it's going to be a difficult month, but I would say is your power of manifestation and I guess your joie de vivre, which is like, the joy that you normally have, your sense of optimism, your sense of like your freedom loving nature, your non-judgmental, characteristic that is really endearing, is going to be tested. Okay, so I wouldn't say it's emotionally difficult and it's emotionally, draining, but what I would say is you will be tested this month. Okay, so it's not as bad as like February for sure, but let's look at this situation. So with the Star card as your crowning energy, I feel that a lot of you, it's a situation where it's a wish card, A lot of you have been hoping for a partnership. And with the Justice card in the reverse position too, a lot of you have been hoping for a partnership, and things are coming to light this month in which that partner is not proving to be viable. That partner is not the best option for you, and I feel that you knew that in the past. Okay, you knew about it because the Page of Swords deals with mental energy, and it's basically our ability to reason, our ability to assess. As a page, is a very young, very naive energy. So a lot of you might have like been fooled into believing that that was the right thing for you to do, that was the right person to carry on with in January and February. This could also be a friendship. This could also be a work project as well. Any type of something that you hold really dear to your heart and you really want it to work out. Okay, so I feel that you might have been duped into believing that was the right thing for you, or you might have like deluded yourself into thinking that was what you really want. So, the Nine of Cups is also a wish card. The Nine of Cups is a wish that brings a lot of emotional fulfillment, whereas the Star is like you get what you wish for. So if not to chastise or anything, because I wouldn't do that, but coming from this, though, it's really important to be careful about it next time. Self-delusion as well. I feel like it's a big issue here, mainly because the Strength is in reverse, Wheel of Fortune, and then the Justice card is in the reverse position. So I would definitely say, practice your discernment. Remove yourself from a situation in which you're too emotionally invested and involved to look at the person that you're dealing with objectively, okay? And like that is good advice for every single sign, but even more so for you, especially for like, I know that February was really rough. So moving forward, take that lesson with you because it's going to serve you well in all your future interactions, okay? So keep that in mind. Five of Pentacles is definitely, I do see that a lot of, this is also healing energy. New information are coming to light that allows you to look at things objectively, that allows you to see the other person for what they are so that you can move forward. And in the process, you're rebuilding your self-esteem. So the ability to rebuild self-esteem is actually coming up very strongly at the beginning of the month. I would definitely say this, okay? There is a split in the way the cards are playing out. So I would say one way that this would play out is, rebuilding the self-esteem. Another way is feeling sorry for the other person and then going back to the other person. So that could play out in two ways. And I feel that a lot of you might actually consider going back to the other person just because the Wheel of Fortune is in the reverse position, which allows old things to cycle back in. And on top of that, we have this, poverty of the mind, poverty of the body, of the spirit card. It's showing up upright. I'm sorry, reverse is showing up at the beginning of the spread, which indicates that, two people who are going through hardships together and they're bonding over the experience, which indicates that, if it's a heartbreak situation that you're dealing with in the past, or if there's, somebody that has done you wrong in the past, or you have done somebody wrong in the past, you're suffering through it together physically. So, that opportunity is there for you to do that, but I wouldn't advise you to do that because that's not healthy. So let go of those old habits, okay? And I do feel that, you know, the person might try to cycle in with this in the reverse position, and then you might be like, you might pity them, you might feel sympathetic, you might really, you know, try to understand things from their point of view, and that's not the smart way to go, okay? So be aware of that. On top of it, strength is in the reverse position. Justice is also, you know, it's a card of Libra, like I mentioned. So we have the card of Aquarius, the card of Libra. This is potentially something that happened in, let's see, this is a year cycle as well. So something that happened in the time of Libra last year, like around, let's see, September 21st, October 21st, and it could also happen like, you know, around Valentine's Day in the time of Aquarius, like in February, January 21st to February 18th, 19th, something like that. So yeah, it's like cycles. These are indicative of definitely cycles that keep popping up, and it doesn't mean that you're fated to them, okay? They pop up and they remind you not to go back, rather than, you know, going back to those situations, because things are staying the same. All right, so please be aware of that. Know when something is like the advice that I've heard once before is to distinguish the difference between a healthy relationship, an addiction, and a soulmate relationship. Okay, so it's very important for you to know the difference, because you want relationships that help you grow. If the other person has, you know, if the other person makes you regress, if the other person doesn't, you know, help you expand in any way, as sad as it is, it's important to leave them behind. So if the relationship no longer serves you, if it's like outlived its purpose, its expiration date, it's really important to let the other person grow or go, so that they can grow on their own. Okay, maybe the lesson for them is to be on their own. So just let it go, because some things are definitely out of our control, but we all know when something has like outlived its purpose. I think deep down we all know that. It's just the process of letting go can be very difficult. So a lot of people don't do it, and they don't do it in the time that is required. They don't do it the right way. So, you know, get out of situations before things get bad is what I say, and then you can part on good terms, rather than waiting for, you know, everything to hit the fan, and then, you know, and then you're hostile towards each other. So it's one of those situations. I feel like it's past hostility. So at this point, there's like more, I guess, understanding, but at the same time, you can be sympathetic and still move on. So don't get back in that situation, okay? I would advise you not to. The Justice card also deals with legal issues. So a lot of you might be going through divorce too, and where you're like divvying up the assets between the two of you, and you know, that's why like money might not seem like it's coming, or a huge chunk of your earnings, of things you work really hard for, is not coming into, you know, your bank account. So that would explain the financial situation, and you're holding on tight to your money. So there might be legal disputes with like divorce, separations, I don't know, child support, things like that, that is affecting your income flow. Okay, but I wouldn't say, you know, like I said, you're not in outright poverty, so don't worry too much about it. Just keep on doing what you've been doing, and don't let old things return, because we're turning a new leaf here, okay? I would say also with the Strength card in the reverse position, I would really be fearful about you guys returning to past situations that have outlived its purpose. And it's mainly because with Strength, it deals with self-esteem as well. When our self-esteem takes a nosedive, we usually turn to past situations and people, and, you know, revert to unhealthy behaviors and habits out of a sense of security. So when self-esteem takes a nosedive, it's also, you know, it's just problematic, because it allows old things to come back in, because they serve as like a safety net or a security blanket. So be really careful about that, and manage stress, manage you know, emotional burdens and insecurities in a healthy, constructive way, okay? And I would advise you, sorry about that, I would advise you keep yourself busy. So I feel like with Sagittarius in general, keeping busy, going out there, and, you know, like especially doing outdoor activities would be really, really good for you. So make sure that happens, okay? Get your mind off things so that you don't revert back to bad things from the past. Okay, so in general, okay, so I would say this is a card of liberation. You know, I would definitely say it's a happy home life, it's a happy relationship. Okay, for those of you who are not in relationship, who are, you know, still dealing with past issues, exes and things like that, what I'm sensing is a new found sense of freedom, freedom in movement, freedom in like in the way you live your life. So it's a really good card to have. So it's also completion, like the end of a toxic cycle, or even hard work paying off. Okay, it might be a little problematic because I feel like this is only one aspect of your life though. This is like emotionally you feel liberated, but there might be legal entanglements that's worrying you. But there's just closure. There's just closure, and you know everyone is happy. Everyone can move on. So that's really good energy. And speaking of moving on, this is interesting here. Like I said, this is the sneaky man card, and I don't ever want to see this card ever for anybody, but it is coming up here in the reverse position, so definitely somebody is getting their justice. So whoever has been lying, you know, doing immoral things, or you know, trying to get one over somebody else, they're they're getting caught. They're getting caught, and the justice that is dealt to them though might not be, you know, might not be as harsh as they deserve. Okay, so they might in that regard. And additionally, whoever has been ousted as being this person, they might get like the wrath of God rain down on them. So that would be to your benefit as well. Okay, if it's not you, it's a sword energy, and the way the cards are laid out, I don't feel that it's you. It's somebody who's trying to ruin your happiness, I feel, because he's looking this way at this happiness bundle, this bundle of joy. But what I would say is, whoever that is, they're definitely getting, you know, getting their what they deserve. And then, you know, that's really nice energy. So if it's somebody from your past too, this is the time of reckoning as well, with the Wheel of Fortune in the reverse position. Okay, so that's going to happen for them. You're going to be happy, you're going to move on, and that's really good. Like I mentioned, finances, hang on tightly to your finances, because I feel like a lot of you might be going through separation and things like that, where the flow of money, like you're a little more, you're a little paranoid when it comes to money. Like you want to even the score, or you feel like you don't have enough, but I feel that you do have enough, you know. I feel you do have enough. So, you know, just bear with it, okay? But the way everything looks is just you do have enough. So don't worry so much, okay? I'm sensing like stress with this card here. Like stress and paranoia, hanging on tightly to the things you love, clinging on to things for security, and clinging on a little too tight. So be careful about that. If you've been dealing with like a thief in the past too, it makes sense that you're clinging on tight. Okay, so that makes perfect sense. But just know that you can't really enjoy your life if you live like that. But I'm sensing a lot of anxiety, a lot of paranoia here. But it's understandable if you've dealt with a thief in the past. So you're hanging on and you're nurturing the things that matter to you. So take it as that. So hang on to and nurture the things that matter to you, but leave them enough room for them to grow on their own, okay? So try to do that. The next card I have is the Seven of Cups in the reverse position. Okay, it's underneath the Strength card, which is indicative of you not taking action. You know, and the advice here is the wait is over. It's time for you to really get out of your state of inertia. So like stop being so dormant. And I know that the energy is not really there for you to implement new changes in your life and to take action and to like be decisive. But it's really important for you to do that, just because like I mentioned, Wheel of Fortune, this is the beginning of the month. So from the 1st to the 15th, generally from the 1st to the 15th, the end of the month, there are definitely opportunities coming in for you, and you have to be decisive. You have to take action and you have to move forward, okay? So we can't even look back at this point. this is a situation where, you know, things are coming to light. You can move forward. You know what option you choose to take, but there's hesitancy on your part just because you're kind of fearful. And then on top of this, it's next to this card of paranoia and anxiety. So I would say, you know, like my only advice here is, and I know this is generic advice, but it's, I'm dealing with Sagittarius here. So I would say, you know, this is just a minor lapse in judgment. You know, like whatever situation you've had to contend with in the past, healing energy is here, and new energy is here for you to finally move forward. Okay, so she's holding this, you know, paving the way, blocking the old energy, and allowing you to move forward, like kind of like the gatekeeper. So let go of old situations because new energy is here. And I know it's kind of like once burned, twice shy type of deal. I would not say go back to the past, but I feel like you've decided on the course of your life, and it's really vital for you to move forward the end of this month, okay, to new things, because also the end of this month is the time of Aries, which is, you know, when the sun is in a constellation of a fire sign. So that's when projects and anything you try to start will actually gain traction and momentum. So don't waste this opportunity, okay? Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid, and don't be afraid, and rebuild up your self-esteem. Rebuild your self-esteem. At the same time, don't be afraid and let go, because I know that you are very optimistic, and in the past, like you might have jumped the gun if that was the case. This is new energy, so you have to roll with it. And I feel that the window of opportunity for things to really take off, and the window of opportunity for you to act, might be very limited, okay? So the end of the month, roll with it, even from the 21st, because we're approaching the period of Aries, your fellow fire sign. So roll with it, and you're going to have a really like prosperous time. If anything, it's still going to be enjoyable, and it allows you to move on and to get over this past situation, okay?